Because when we think about ultimately leaving a legacy and leaving an impact, we have to be mindful of tossing opportunities, tossing, business, tossing gifts, tossing insight and support and endorsement. We have to open up and start tossing that in more than one direction so that the whole ecosystem grows.
What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go.
What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You, your favorite personal development coach, with another episode of Black Fathers Now. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Hope you're making things happen. And if not, you know what I'm going to tell you to do. Go make it happen. All right. But yo, check this out, man. I was thinking about a concept and I wanted to throw it out there with you all. And I want you to think about it. I want you to process it. But then I want you to take a moment to see how this applies to your life right now. If I go outside and I play catch with my son, he and I play catch. We throw the baseball back and forth to each other. If he and I plays catch and I just throw the ball between him and he throws the ball back to me, and we just keep this ball circulating between the two of us, that does not benefit anyone else. For this thing to work, my son and I have to throw the ball amongst ourselves, but then we also need to find some other people to toss the ball to. The thing is, when it comes to business, sometimes we find one person and we just toss things back and forth between us. And yes, we get better. We grow, we do our thing, but nobody else benefits from us just passing the opportunity back and forth between ourselves. So when we start thinking about opportunities, when we start thinking about business, when we start thinking about giving, we have to open ourselves up to not just find one person that we toss the proverbial ball to and they toss it back to us. And then we just keep going back and forth, because the reality is, yes, you will get better. You will become a better passer, better catcher, whatever it may be, using that metaphor, that example. But nobody else benefits from you and one person passing back and forth between you. We have to start thinking about the concept of giving, of business, of expansion, of growth, of service, to not just be limited to one person that I'm just going to, keep my eye on and throw stuff in that direction. We have to be mindful of that. Because when we think about ultimately leaving a legacy and leaving an impact, we have to be mindful of tossing opportunities, tossing, business, tossing gifts, tossing insight and support and endorsement. We have to open up and start tossing that in more than one direction so that the whole ecosystem grows. A lot of times when, I coach brothers on the back end, or I have conversations with someone, or I connect individuals, and sometimes they'll come on the back end and say, hey, thank you for linking this up or helping me with this or whatever. Usually my response is, I feel like it is my calling to make sure that the right ones win and win big. It's like I literally feel that deep in my spirit that I'm supposed to help the right ones win and win big. Because when the right ones win, they don't go out and find one person to toss the opportunities back and forth to. They open up and they start tossing opportunities to a lot of individuals, because they understand that it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. that it's their job to put other people on. It's, yes, you might get to the top of the mountain and you have to do your thing, right? You have to get yourself in a position in which you're capable of really helping and creating opportunities for others. But you always need to be mindful of your succession plan. You always need to be mindful of who can I put on. You always need to be mindful of how can I spread this out so that I'm not the only one winning, but I'm opening the door for someone who maybe otherwise would not get this opportunity. So using that example or thinking about that example of tossing the ball outside with your son or your daughter or a neighbor or a friend, and it's just you two throwing back and forth to each other, remember, if that's the case, you too will improve in your skills because you're tossing it back and forth and you're practicing. But also be mindful that nobody else benefits when it's just you two throwing the ball back and forth to each other. Let's start tossing the ball to some other folks in the area, in the neighborhood, from other parts that maybe don't even look like you. Let's start tossing the ball to others. And let's start looking for ways to do that so that we can spread and we can raise, the rising tide lifts all boats. But the tide does not rise if it's only one thing making the tide go up. We need a lot of things, a lot of factors, a lot of variables to cause the tide to rise. And then all of these boats can improve and can elevate. But it goes back to this whole notion of when the right people win, we all win because the right people know that they're going to be good, but the right people make it a point to figure out how many people can I put on. When I think about successful coaches, recently they just had the college football national championship and all of that. And what was interesting about the college football national championship, it was old school, the GOAT, Nick Saban, against one of his, his mentees or one of the people that came up under him in Kirby Smart. And Kirby Smart could be considered a part of the Nick Saban coaching tree, right? And so when you think about a coaching tree or you think about a tree of successors, Kirby Smart came after Nick Saban, but he learned under Nick Saban. And Nick Saban has numerous coaches that have gone on to successful careers to impact the lives of other young men. But it's interesting to me. It's like, yes, wins and losses matter, but I look at it from the standpoint of legacy. How do my actions or my activities or my success, how do they lead to the success of other people? I heard P.L.O. Lumumba. He's a speaker currently on the continent of Africa and a professor. And, he mentioned that true success is when my successor succeeds. And that's a really good point. And I want us to always be mindful of that. So create your successor in-house, again, with your kids and nieces and nephews and people that you mentor and coach and advise or whatever. But don't limit yourself to just those individuals. Make sure you start throwing the ball or tossing opportunities, insight, inspiration to those outside of just those that you always toss the ball to. Because we want to create this total critical mass of impact, critical mass of fulfillment. And the more we can do that, the more lives can be impacted. All right. So I hope this is something that you all can resonate with. I hope you all can take action on it, or I hope you choose to take action on it. And I'd love to hear what you think. So hit me up on social media at Black Fathers Now or LinkedIn or wherever you are. Find Coach Mike D and shoot me a message and let me know what you think about this episode. And subscribe, share this thing out. And until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.